Hello, you amazing people. It is Riley LH here with another video, and we are back with the blue Miata, and it's having a little bit of an issue. It's blowing out clouds of white smoke. So I did a compression test. Compression was great, 190 pretty much all across. The head gasket wasn't blown. Couldn't think of anything. It was filling up with gas it was filling up with oil in the catch can, but the oil was it smelled a lot like gas. So at the track, I put off the fuel pressure regulator, and the issue stopped. So I have a bad fuel pressure regulator. It's dumping so much fuel, it's getting past my piston rings into the oil and making clouds of white smoke. And I'll chuck in a clip of what it looks like. Yeah, I don't want to keep on smoke screening everybody at the track, as well I don't want my car running that rich constantly, so we're going to be changing the fuel pressure regulator. This OEM replacement fuel pressure regulator was sent out by carparts.com, and they also sent me a bunch of extra stuff for the car as well. And now a fuel pressure regulator isn't the only thing I am doing. As you can probably see, the headers are out, and that's because I'm turboing this car right now. So I'm going to be doing RX-8 yellow top injectors, but first I have to rebuild those injectors. Video coming soon about how to rebuild them and how to install them. But first we have to get this 30-year-old fuel pressure regulator out and replaced. Now this job is super easy. It's 2 bolts and 2 hoses, and then it comes straight out. But before we go and take it out, let's learn how a fuel pressure regulator works. So how it works is it takes pressure from your intake manifold, and when the pressure gets high enough, it'll open up a little diaphragm and send gas back into the return line of the tank. Because you don't want too much fuel pressure in your fuel rail and as well in your injectors, because it can go and throw off how much fuel it's actually dumping in. For instance, mine, how it was messed up, it was pushing so much fuel, it was going and getting past the piston rings into the oil. Again, this job is super easy, so all you're going to need is a 10mm, a screwdriver, and a pair of pliers. And of course, you're going to need a new fuel pressure regulator as well. But before we go and start messing with the fuel, I would suggest unplugging your fuel pressure regulator and cranking over the car a couple times so it can burn off and get rid of all that excess gas. And now that there's no gas in the lines, we can actually take them off and not get gas everywhere. As well, I would go and unplug your battery to make sure you're not going and setting anything on fire. Already have all that done, so we can actually get into the job. So first, we're going to go and take off this vacuum hose connecting the fuel pressure regulator to the intake. Then you're going to look down on the bottom of the fuel pressure regulator, and there's going to be a hose, and you're going to trace that back to wherever that goes. Mine is right here, so I'm going to go and take off the hose clamp, and then go and wiggle off the hose with some pair of pliers. When a hose is stuck on a line, what you want to do is grab it with a pair of pliers and twist it a little bit, and that will get it to break free. So I did forget one thing. You do want to pop your gas cap to relieve all pressure from the system, so I'm going to do that real quick, then we can actually take off this line. Okay, so now all the pressure should be relieved, and we're not going to spill nearly as much gas. Okay, so now there's still a little bit of gas in this line, so I'm going to go and prop it somewhere where it's not going to go and fall over and leak all the gas out. So this bolt in the back, I would actually suggest getting a normal wrench with an extension for it. A wrench, there's not enough room to really get in there and crack it off properly. Okay, so now we can just give that a few little twists, and that should come out. With some gas as well, of course. Oh, just got gas all over me. But, hey, we didn't spill too much gas, didn't get any on the car. If you do get gas on the car, definitely go and wipe it off real quick. It will jack up your paint and or wrap. Okay, so now we've got to take this line off the old fuel pressure regulator and get it on the new one. So we first got to open up the box. Get the new one out. Always make sure there's a little rubber O-ring. If there's not, buy a new one. Don't use the old one. And as well, compared to the old one, make sure everything looks the same and will fit up the same. And everything checks out, so this one should be able to be put back in with no issues. So we're going to take out our pliers again, take off this clip, and we're going to do our trusty old trick again where we twist the hose to try to get it to break free. Then this should just pop straight out. And now that that's out, just go ahead and slide the new one in. Popped into the same exact location where that little nipple was on. And then we just go and slide this back on. Make sure it ain't going anywhere, and we can put it back in the car. So we're just going to clean off the mating surface, make sure there's no excess gas on it, slide the hose back down. Slide the new fuel pressure regulator in. Now we're going to use the good old German metric of Guten tight. You don't want it too tight where you go and snap these little 10 mils, but at the same time you want it sealed so you're not going and spitting gas all over in your engine bay. And now that that's snugged up, we can go put on our hose again. Then realize we lost the hose clamp somehow, and we have to find that real quick. Aha, I found it. So, we're gonna go slide this back on, slide our hose onto the fuel line again, get that hose clamp back over it, tighten her up with our flathead screwdriver. Make sure that ain't going anywhere. And now that's all said and done, it would be time to test it, but yeah, I kind of don't have headers. And as well, if you're on a standalone ECU and you think you tuned it with the bad fuel pressure regulator, make sure you go and retune the car because it will throw off your fueling by a lot, especially in the higher RPMs under a lot of load. But if you're on a stock ECU, it'll do all that for you. Big thanks to carparts.com for sending me out the fuel pressure regulator, the ratcheting wrenches, and a bunch of other stuff for the car. So if you want to check them out, I'll have their website linked in the description down below. And as well, if you guys have enjoyed this video or learned anything from it, please like and subscribe, that'd mean a lot. I hope you guys all have a great day. See you guys all next time. Peace out.